I'm the martial arts film freak, and I saw Birth of the Dragon.
What does Sifu Li teach you?
He teaches us to kick ass.
Kick ass. Your technique is impressive. But it has one limitation.
What?
You.
Birth of the Dragon is the story of the fight between Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man. This is the fight that later led to Bruce Lee inventing Jeet Kune Do. Now I'll tell you the reason they fought, because this is very important, especially with the fact that this movie gets it all wrong. They fought because Bruce Lee was teaching non-Chinese. He was teaching whites, blacks, Hispanics, a bunch of other people, and the Chinese did not like that. The Chinese said, "This is ours. You do not teach it to anybody," and he said, "Stop me." Probably didn't actually say "stop me," but that's what he says in my head. So the Chinese said, "Well, we are going to make you fight this man, Wong Jack Man. If he beats you, you stop. If you win, you do whatever you want." Bruce Lee destroyed him. It's said that Bruce Lee beat him in about 30 seconds. Not a lot of people were there. His wife was there, some other people. It was not a publicized event at all. But Bruce Lee beat him, it's said, probably like 30 seconds, and that wasn't fast enough for Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said, "I'm angry with myself. I should have beat him faster." And that is when Bruce Lee decided that this style, which was Wing Chun, has its limits, and I've reached them. I've done all there is to do. I could have beat him faster if I was doing something else. So he started to research other martial arts, boxing, even Muay Thai, karate, fencing, a lot of things, and he came up with Jeet Kune Do. That is the real story. This movie took full liberties with this story and did whatever the fuck it wanted with it. Bruce Lee is played by Philip Ng, NG, I don't really know how to pronounce that last name. He does fine. There's no reason to fault him. I'm only just disappointed with him because if you've seen his film, Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, he is a phenomenal martial artist, but it's also him and Andy Yeon in that movie, and Andy Yeon's freaking great, so they make that movie amazing. But he is Bruce Lee in this, and if you've seen Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, it is a Bruce Lee movie. It's got a similar plot, and then the beginning and ending are Big Boss. And Big Boss Bruce Lee can't fight. He has that little necklace. And as long as he has that necklace, he can't fight. He just knows morally he cannot fight. Someone breaks it, and Bruce Lee loses his shit. That's Big Boss. And then Once Upon a Time in Shanghai, his character has this bracelet. And the bracelet reminds him not to throw his punch because his punch has killed a man before. The bracelet breaks. He fights. Spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, he gets arrested. What happened at the end of Big Boss? Bruce Lee got arrested. He's done a Bruce Lee movie. And now he's playing Bruce Lee. He does fine. There's no reason to complain. Wong Jack Man, I don't know who played Wong Jack Man. I don't really feel like researching. This movie's not good enough for it. And I'm going to do two ratings here. I'm going to do a biased one because it deserves it. And I'm going to do an unbiased as a film. Sorry, I keep tapping on the table. I know the mic picks that up and it's a bit annoying. So if you're watching this at all, if you are following this channel, if you are interested in martial arts movies, you probably know Bruce Lee. You've probably seen a bunch of his movies, maybe not all of them. You've maybe seen his interviews and know a lot of his quotes. He was not a dickish man. This movie portrays him as a horrendous human being, as a dick. His school is the Cobra Kai dojo. And I mean, I haven't seen Karate Kid in a very long time. I don't remember what he makes his students say, but they say, essentially, beat the shit out of your opponent.
What do we study here? The way of fist, sir! And what is that way? Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir! I can't hear you! Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir!
Bruce Lee makes his students say, what do you do if you see a man in the alleyway? And his students say, kick his ass. That's some Cobra Kai shit. There's a scene early on in this movie where Bruce Lee is shooting a movie. I don't know if he was even shooting a movie in 1964, but his students are his stuntmen, and he accidentally kicks one of them in the balls. And he tells him, you back up when I throw a front kick. And the student says, but if I back up, I won't be on camera. And then Bruce Lee just proceeds to say, it's not about you, dipshit, it's about me. What? Like, it's not Bruce Lee. And it's reported that a few months ago, his daughter was allowed to see this movie. His daughter got to see it. This movie was made without permission of the Bruce Lee family. His daughter got to see it, and she was completely offended. And I know this was the scene. This was the beginning of the movie. And as soon as he says something like this, you know that's when she just stood up and said, "What is happening? What is this movie?" And just like the first trailer showed, this movie is about his student, a white guy. Bruce Lee is almost a subplot in this. It's more about two of his students. One of them, who is Chinese, has been gambling with the Chinese mafia, and he owes a debt. And here's also a tax, and he refuses to pay either one of them. So, Bruce Lee might have to go solve that. And then Wong Jack Man is in town because he's just in town because he wants to check out the local martial arts, which they actually did a decent little plot with him. Still wasn't real. They did a decent little plot with him where he was an ashamed monk and he was sent here to be humbled, and now he's a dishwasher, and who gives a flying fuck? But the white student has sort of become obsessed with Wong Jack Man. He hangs out with him a lot, and he begs him to teach him when you can't have two masters. And Bruce Lee tells him this. He says, look, if you want to go learn under him, it's totally fine, I understand. And the white student, another one of his plots, because this movie's about him, is that he is falling for this Chinese girl who was smuggled into the country by the mafia, Chinese mafia. But she's also working for them to pay off her debts, and there's no way out. So he wants Bruce's or Wong Jack Man's help. Well, that Chinese tax, Bruce Lee ain't paying it either. So the Chinese mafia just says, well, if Wong Jack Man fights Bruce Lee, we'll free that girl. Oh, that really serves the plot. That helps. Thank God. Thank you for furthering the plot. Whew. What were we going to do? We don't know, because the people that wrote this movie did a shitty job. Now, if that may be a spoiler, I will stop there a bit until a little bit later in this video. Like I said, I'm going to do a biased and an unbiased. And the unbiased, I'm going to go spoilers on this bitch. I don't know if anyone gives two shits. Even if you are a fan of these movies, you're not. You don't care about this movie. You know what it is, and you hate it instantly. I hated it before I saw it. Do I hate it a little bit less? Like this much less. I can't even see you through these fingers. It's not good, but I'll spoil it a bit later. Now, look, there is a moment when I realized this movie is a fan fiction. This movie does not care about what actually happened. It throws it right out the window. I don't even know if it knew it existed to throw it out the window. But it's a complete false account. It's a fan fiction, and that's what I keep saying. And that's fine, sorta. You can take a real event and do what you want with it creatively. You can. Inglourious Basterds did it. Quentin Tarantino did it with Inglourious Basterds, and it's great. I love that movie. But they didn't make Hitler a humanitarian. You don't take a real event and take a key person in history involved in that event and change their person completely. And that's what this movie did with Bruce Lee. It turned the man we know that is Bruce Lee and turned him into a self-obsessed prick. And that's frustrating. This is my biased review again. Oh yeah, there's a moment during their fight where they fight up a set of stairs. This fight goes on for probably like 10 minutes. Like I said, in reality, this fight lasted a minute or less. They go up some stairs, and Bruce Lee says, "You've reached the end." And he says, "So have you." Metaphor for his, he's reached the end of Wing Chun. He didn't even use Wing Chun a lot of the movie. He ended up using a lot of Jeet Kune Do. And I'm like, you didn't even fucking know that in 1964. But they reach the end of this little staircase. From there, it's just kind of a drop-off. So, Wong Jack Man says, he didn't say anything. He looks at him, kind of gives him a bit of a smirk, and then kind of glides off. He looks at him, and he jumps, but he glides. Like it's fucking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I have no problem with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but this movie was supposed to be based in reality, and fuck that. And then everyone just kind of looks at him like, oh, and Bruce Lee just says like, oh, I get it. I still have things to learn. And then he walks to the end, and he just goes, and then he fucking floats too. Shit. So, for my biased review, this movie's really bad. It's not good. As a Bruce Lee fan, I don't recommend this to anybody. If I had an enemy who is a Bruce Lee fan, I wouldn't wish it upon him. 1.5 out of 5. Not even going to come up with something for this one because this movie's shit. Sorry. Now, for my unbiased review as just a film lover. Let's see what I say next. Take it away, me. Next me, not far off. Now, there were maybe some better things this movie did. I think I saw that some of the choreography was done by Corey Yuen. He's done some pretty good stuff in the past. I don't feel like talking about it because he did this movie, and this movie's shit. But the fights are pretty okay. There was some pretty good choreography, some decent special effects choices. They did I don't even know if it was fun. I kind of didn't like it. It was okay. They did a thing where the fighters were suddenly sped up, and you could see it, like sort of the way you could see Agent Smith in The Matrix moving fast. They sort of did stuff like that with them, and I'm like, I get it. They're really good. They're fast fighters. Fine. And then at one point, you see like their students watching, and then they're just staring, and then the camera cuts to the side of their face, and they look over, and they're over there. That's kind of cool. At the same time, I kind of say again, just it's fine. They did some pretty okay choices that I feel like if I wasn't so pissed off already, I would like a bit more. But right now, shit. The acting in this movie is fine. I mean, no one really does that bad of a job. The main character, who is Steve McKee, I think that has something to do with Steve McQueen. I could be completely wrong. He does fine as stock white guy number 1. Probably not even number 1. Number 4, because he looks like Zac Efron, and then I'm like, no, he's not Zac Efron. He's that guy from Power Rangers who played the Red Ranger. And I think of that, and I'm like, nope, he's Charlie Hunnam. Nope, he's not Charlie Hunnam. Oh, he's some other just white dude. They all look the same, kind of. They all have the same jawline. They got a white guy. That wasn't either of those 3. Some of the editing in this movie is dodgy, sorta. There's a part where Steve McKee, the white student, is hanging out with Wong Jack-man, and it's the first time he sees him training, and he starts walking away. All of a sudden, it cuts to him like 20 feet away, just staring. And it wasn't a clean cut. It was a bit of just like, oh, that's weird. He got there really fast. There are a few other shots that it's a lot of the cutting stuff. At one point, the white guy is teaching his Chinese girlfriend how to play baseball. That was a fine scene. This plot's not necessary, but it was for the dumb plot of this. The dumb plot of the entire movie. And there's some editing in there that's like, that's not good. Like, you're pretty sure he gets hit with a baseball. She hits one and it hits him. You're like, oh, that hit him in the gut. And then she's like kind of helping his hand and centering the chi in his hand. And you're like, okay. The characters in this are easily persuaded. Wong Jack-man does believe in this, that Kung Fu belongs to the Chinese. And then Steve McKee says, Wong Jack-man says, like, Chinese is ours, it's powerful, you don't share your nuclear plans, we don't share our Kung Fu. And Steve McKee says, well, Kung Fu's not a nuke. And then Wong Jack-man says, no, it's more powerful. And I get what you're trying to say. I'm not complaining about what you're saying. That's kind of cool, actually. But just later on at the end of the movie, he says Bruce Lee will spread Kung Fu to the world, and that is necessary. Kung Fu needs to be spread to the rest of the world. You said some shit earlier. But what? It's not what you said 45 minutes ago. Get your shit straight, sir. And then it's probably got some of the most easily convinced mafia members ever. There is a freaking... So the mafia says, well, if Wong Jack-man fights Bruce Lee, we'll free your girlfriend. And so they fight. There's no winner in this. In reality, Bruce Lee won easily. There's no winner in this movie. They stop, kind of looking at each other like, oh, I respect you now. And they bow and whoop-a-da-boo! So there's no winner. The mafia can't make any money off this. The fight was in all the newspapers because in reality that's what fucking happened. It didn't fucking happen. The mafia can't make any money off this from all the gambling because there's no clear winner. So neither man wants to accept that they won because they both learned some lessons. They lost, but kind of both won. Who fucking knows? And so Wong Jack-man says, I lost. And Bruce Lee says, I can't accept that. And then also the mafia said, since there's no clear winner, we're not releasing anybody. So then Bruce Lee says, you have to free all of the girls. And without thinking about it, the fucking Don, I don't know, what is it, a Chinese mafia, I don't know, The guy just goes, okay, it's cool. Free all the girls. Didn't take convincing. Didn't need a punch to the face. Just free the girls. That was easy. And then even in those final fights. Okay, so here's where I'm going to spoil this. Here's where it's really fan fiction. And holy shit. They fight. And then since the mafia says, we're not going to release your girlfriend, the white dude says, okay, I'll just, go fight them all myself. And of course he fails. But guess who comes to save the day? Bruce Lee. And Wong Jackman. Together. They teamed up. Boom! Suck it. Teaming up in this bitch. That's not... Fuck you! So they go through this restaurant, Protector style, Tom Yong-gung style, and they fight. They fight the mafia. Together. Team up. Yeah! It's because that's what fucking happened. And they go through a bunch of people. They fight. Bruce Lee gets a bit cocky, of course. Wong Jack-man has a bit more of a calm style. That was kind of fun to watch. This fight was a little bit fun. Wong Jack-man made me kind of giggle a little bit. This is where it won me over a little. But Bruce Lee is fighting this guy who brings out brass knuckles. These brass knuckles have little blades on the end. They have 3. It goes sing. And, of course, the blades cut his abdomen a bit. And he rips his shirt off. And licks the blood and spits. Fuck you! You don't need to do that. I'm sorry that was loud. That is wholly unnecessary. You did that for the fanboys that are 12 years old? Who'd you do that for? You don't need to do that. I mean, I guess you can because you can clearly tell this movie is not grounded in reality because now Bruce Lee just has, a scar on his belly of 3 blades. He got attacked by a wolf. What the hell's that for? And then later on, after he knocks that guy out, the guy takes out a gun. You had that gun the whole time, and earlier you chose brass knuckles with blades on it? Get the fuck out of here! You chose the gun now. Okay. Whatever. And then at one point, Wong Jack-man and Bruce Lee are walking up the stairs, and 2 guys come out. One has those, flat cleaver-looking things that you see in Ip Man and a bunch of other movies, and then the other guy who's in front of Bruce Lee has axes because axe gang in Chinese movies and what the fuck you. They dispose of these guys in a matter of seconds. There's a scene where Bruce Lee is just talking to the white student, and the whole time he's talking, he's playing with nunchucks like, yeah, dude, I think this. What do you think? Why are you playing with nunchucks right now? Because the fucking director told you to? Because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing? Okay. Fair, I guess. So the performances of this movie are fine. The choreography actually won me over a little bit. There were some decent little jokes with the choreography that probably would have been better in a Jackie Chan movie from Wong Jack-man. The characters might be wholly stupid, easily convinced. Bruce Lee is a dick in this. Unnecessary plots. Stock white guy actor. And this movie's not good. Even when I'm unbiased, as a film fan, this movie's getting a 2.38 out of 5 because I want to say 2.5 and then I keep going lower and 2.3 seems a bit too low but not quite 2.4, so 2.38 out of 5. Again, I'm not coming up with anything stupid or clever. If I'm not clever, most of the things I come up with are just dumb for this movie at all because it's wholly stupid, like the characters. Thanks for watching. I don't recommend this. Maybe rent it. Don't show this to your friends that aren't a Bruce Lee fan. I did not take my girlfriend to this because she's not seen a Bruce Lee movie, and I don't want this to be her first experience with Bruce Lee, so I did not take her to see this. I just don't recommend it at all. If you're a Bruce Lee fan and you want to be angry, go do it. Because the whole time I was watching this movie, I was just pissed off. I asked a guy after the movie, what'd you think of that? And he was like, Jesus Christ. This movie was produced by WWE Studios. I love WWE. I'm a wrestling fan. But why? Why? Follow me on the social medias. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. I'm going to put a video at the end of this that was posted by the Bruce Lee Foundation by his daughter and his wife. because I think it should be seen instead of this movie. So that's going to be at the end of my video. Stay tuned for that, please. Thank you for watching again. I keep saying it. Have a great day, and don't see this piece of trash.
My name is Linda Lee Cadwell. I was married to Bruce Lee for 9 years, from 1964 to 1973. He used to say, "Under the heavens, we are all one family." The martial artists in San Francisco, Chinatown, wanted to challenge Bruce to a fight. There was a controversy. They wanted him to close down his school because he was teaching non-Chinese. The history of that goes back a long ways, at least as far back as the Boxer Rebellion, when foreign powers tried to invade China. Bruce was teaching a great many non-Chinese. They were not just Caucasian, they were Black or Hispanic or women or just a whole variety of people. He knew that there was this taboo, but he did not agree with it. It was not taken well. They wanted to shut down this egotistical, brash youngster. So a date was set, and eventually they came over. There was not bowing, there was not all that kind of thing. They just faced off and went at it. Bruce threw the first punch. It did hit Wong Jackman around his eye. Bruce faced discrimination in his own life. Bruce started to use a series of straight punches. Bruce had a world view. Wong could not retaliate. Wong turned and he started to run, and Bruce was just after him. There are so many societies that are oppressive. Bruce did not want that. Wong went down on the ground, and Bruce was instantly over him with a fist raised and said, "Fok and fok," in Chinese means, "Do you give up?" And he said yes. And that was the end. It was symbolic, that confrontation with Wong Jackman, and it definitely propelled Bruce to adapt to Western ways as well as Chinese ways, and put them together to become who he was. Then later through the films is how he spread his worldview to people of all cultures. He used to say, "Under the heavens, we are all one family."